Come here. Come here, boy.
So baby, can't even get mad at you. What a thing, you really sweet, and I feel so good, it's true. You're such a good, make my lungs out, breathing in the air. Through loving you, I really know, child, just how much I care. Give me your love.
That monster got off the chain. Tried to take off on him. I'm glad I was outside. Glad I was outside. Okay, here we go. Yes, I'm thanking you. Thank you, Tilly, and whoever else may be watching, for tuning in to Coblow'S Daily Therapy. Before I get started, man, I'll let everybody know that I'm reading from the book, Without Sanctuary, Lynching Photography in America, by James Allen, Hilton Alves, Congressman John Lewis, and Leon F. Litwack. And man, this has been a rough couple of weeks, man, rough past month or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think it sort of get like this every year for me. I ain't too sure. I've been sky watching it though. It's very beautiful out here today. I think we can expect a harsh, cold winter. But this time last year, I was seeing some real freaky stuff in the sky. I seen it for like 15 or 20 minutes, so I'm looking for it again today. And then I want to make sure I definitely say happy birthday to my second oldest son, Drayshawn Jackson. I love you, boy. You mine. You know, we got a story behind that, but you know what I'm saying? I made him. Happy birthday to him. He turns 26 today, 26 years old. And that'll be leading me up to my mom's birthday, September the 29th, and then mine 3 days later on October 2nd. Time flying. But I guess I'm about to just go ahead and pull back a little bit. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna continue reading books. No doubt about that. I'm gonna keep going live and I'm gonna keep reading. But I think I'm fixing to pull back on my communications with humans. When I tell you, man, human beings are so disappointing. Even me myself, I am imperfect. I am so flawed, man, to the point of where I don't even like to bring myself around other people to make things worse for them or make them feel worse than they did. I always want to try to be an asset, a contribution to somebody. Somebody that makes somebody happy. I don't ever want to be somebody that makes a person sad or out of whack, you know what I'm saying? Just puts them in a bad place. I don't ever want to be that person. And I know I can be that person sometimes too myself. So I'm gonna pull back, man, because I don't want to be that to anybody, and I don't want anybody to be a distraction to me. I don't want anybody to be frustrating or aggravating to me. That's what I don't want from people. So my way of always handling that, to keep from hurting other people feeling and just saying I don't care, is to just pull back. Continue to try to help from a distance. So that's what I'm planning on doing. I'm gonna help from a distance, but at the same time, I'm gonna still go back into my shell and avoid people. Because the more I have to have contact with people and have conversations with people and interact with people, I have so many different issues that I have to go through, from men and women. Society and the human race, man, I don't know what to say. But at the same time, I know what's going on, so I can try. I ain't gonna never give up, because I want peace and happiness just like everybody else wants. I might not be perfect, I might not have all the solutions, but I do know that I can share my experience or share what I can to help the next person achieve that. Because I think we all really and truly deep down want one goal. And that one goal is to be happy, live in peace, have a fair shot at life, and have a fair shot at, achieving a quality life. I think that's what everybody wants. So, I made a post earlier that I was pulling back, that I was closed for business. And I am closed for business personally, intimately, I'm gonna keep reading, I'm gonna keep posting. We could talk on Facebook or whatever, we could text on Messenger or whatever, but as far as, talking on the telephone and just having dealings with people, man, listen, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Even with me trying to help people, I don't even know if I want to do any volunteering. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something, man. It's hard getting the same out of someone that you get or that you give to them. It's always going to be hard to do that. And even if we do get it, as human beings, we might not even feel like it suffices. We might not even feel like it's enough, that it's sufficient. We might feel like that we're still being short-term when really and truly we're overabundantly being blessed with appreciation or recognition. So I don't know, Like I said, I'm flawed, I can't say myself. But I know at the same time, if I am flawed myself and I'm this aggravated with people, then I need to quit fucking with people. So I'm gonna keep doing what I do, but I will not be having any kind of contact, hanging out with nobody, man, I don't want to talk on the phone to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather just text and, I hate that it's like that. That's sad. That's what I despise more than anything. Non-intimate contact, but that's what it's at, where it is now. Hey, you can holler at me in about 30 minutes. All right. So now I'm fixing to begin reading. That was my neighbor calling me. And I'm gonna start on, I think I read Joe Brown yesterday. I did. I gotta start on picture 69. Picture 69 is a stereograph of the burnt and partially skinned corpse of Amy Whit Ketchum and Luther H. Mitchell, December 10th, 1878, Callaway, Custer County, Nebraska. Quote, cattle thieves burned to death. Special dispatch to the New York Times, Omaha, Nebraska, December 1st. Information, I think that says December 1st. Information has been received here today to the effect that two men named Ketchum and Mitchell in Custer County, suspected of stealing stock, resisted the attempts of 4 herders to arrest them last Tuesday, and a desperate fight ensued in which one of the herders was killed. Ketchum and Mitchell were arrested subsequently by the sheriff of Custer County. That night, 25 masked men, well armed, overpowered the sheriff and his posse, who were taking the prisoners to the county seat for trial, tied the prisoners to a tree, and burned them to death. Burned to death by cattlemen. Special dispatch to the New York Times, Omaha, Nebraska, December 19th. Later reports from Custer County show that the burning to death of 2 men recently reported in previous dispatches was a result of the determination of the cattlemen to keep homesteaders out of that country. Custer, the most extreme northwest county in the state, is almost exclusively given up to cattle ranges. The 2 men burned to death had taken homesteads and resolved to stay despite the fearful threats made against them. Governor Garber has offered a $200 reward, the highest amount allowed by state law, for the arrest of the men implicated in the terrible crime. He will also recommend to the legislature, which will sit in January, to offer a reward of $10,000 for the arrest and conviction of the guilty men. Cattle barons accumulated great wealth by grazing their cattle in the West open ranges. Homesteaders threatened their fortunes by fencing in areas that would otherwise have been available to them. A reward of $700 was posted for the capture of Ketchum and Mitchell by Isom Prentice, quote, Prince, end quote, Olive, a cattle baron. When the men were delivered to the sheriff, Olive and his men took the prisoners. Collusion between the authorities and the cattle baron is likely. That means almost like the mafia. Torture, such as skinning and burning, was virtually never practiced as Anglo-Americans. Mitchell's body was taken to his former home in Central City, Nebraska, and buried in the Central City Cemetery. Amy, Whit Ketchum's brother, claimed his body and buried him in Kearney, Nebraska. A pink marble headstone is inscribed, Pioneer Amy Ketchum, 1855 through 1878, 23 years old when they lynched him. A victim of the homesteaders and cattlemen conflict of Custer County, Nebraska. I.B. Print Olive was eventually captured and convicted of the murders. Legal maneuvering to free him was successful, but cost him his fortune. He was killed by Joseph Sparrow in Trail City, Colorado on April 25, 1892. He is buried in Dodge City, Kansas, next to his wife. So he had karma came back and got him home. Let's see what picture 69 look like, what they do to these men. 69. Oh yeah, man, they did him wrong. They did him wrong. I remember this picture. Well, I'll go ahead and read 74. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show y'all this picture. Y'all might not be able to see it too good. But those are 2 bodies sitting up there burned. Terrible. Terrible. Picture 74. Am I right? Or 71? 70, reverse stereographic card. All right, 71. Badly beaten corpse of William Brooks. His clothes ripped and torn. A branch fastened to his left leg. July 22nd, 1901. Elkins, West Virginia. West Virginia got them songs too, huh? Lynched in a public park, West Virginia. Negro pays penalty for shooting chief of police. I wonder how true that is. Special to the Record Herald, Elkins, West Virginia, July 22nd. William Brooks, colored, was lynched in City Park here this afternoon by a maddened mob of 500 half an hour after he had shot and fatally wounded Robert Lilly, chief of police. Brooks was creating a disturbance in the lower end of town, and when Chief Lilly tried to arrest him, the Negro fled into a house. The officer followed and clinched with him, wrestled. While they were rolling on the floor, the officer's revolver dropped from his pocket, and Brooks seized it and shot Lilly through the abdomen. Brooks then jumped from a window and was instantly pursued by the crowd, which had been attracted by the fight. He was captured after a chase of a half a mile and carried to the park, where his body was soon swinging from a tree. The branch fastened to William Brooks' left leg was a primitive restraining device used to hobble a prisoner. So they chased him down immediately after he did it. Vigilante justice, that's what they did. Immediately after he did it, they chased him down in the street and did what they did. Immediately after. Some people might call that power of the people, I guess, huh? 72. The lynching of Charles Mitchell, his body hanging from a tree in a courthouse yard, June 4, 1897, Urbana, Ohio. A widow, Ellen Garmer, was a white Ohioan of social standing. Her husband had been a state senator and a publisher of the Zanesville Signal. When she escalated her accusation against Charles Mitchell from robbery to rape, racial animosities doomed the 23-year-old black hotel porter. I mean, she lied. She raised the roof a little bit. She pulled an extreme Karen. Back in 1897, Karen. Garmer identified Mitchell as the man who had assaulted her in her home. 2 days later, the prisoner waived the reading of the indictment, pled guilty, and was sentenced to the severest punishment provided under Ohio law, 20 years in the state penitentiary. The militia was unable to board the prisoner on a train to Columbus because the depot was under siege by a growing mob. It was apparent to the sheriff that it would be grim work to protect the rich who was cowering in his jail cell. When the mob tried to break in the rear door of the jailhouse, the sheriff ordered the militia to fire. 2 men were killed instantly. 2 more died later, and another was paralyzed for life. The mob retreated with their dead to the front yard. The exhausted militiamen abandoned the vigil at 7 a.m., expecting the Springfield Company of the Ohio National Guard to arrive from the station. However, the mayor of Urbana intercepted the reinforcements and sent them back to the depot. The lynchers saw their chance and broke for the jail. They encountered no resistance, and the sheriff handed them the keys to Charles Mitchell's cell. Mitchell received blows and kicks, and a noose was applied. In the public square, a rope was hitched over a limb. Mitchell was jerked up and down until the executioners were confident his neck was broken. The corpse was placed in the coffin under the lynching tree for a public exhibition, where it stayed until late in the day. Relic hunters stripped it, even taking his stockings and shoes, his socks and shoes. No relatives came to claim the remains. That means he just hung there. That's picture 72. And picture 73 is the corpses of Foster Crawford and Elmer Lewis, February 25, 1893, Wichita Falls, Texas. Foster Crawford, who participated in the killing of Frank Dorsey, late cashier of the City National Bank, Wichita, Kansas. That means he might have been a bank robber. Elmer Lewis, alias the Kid. Oh, is this Billy the Kid? Billy, I don't know. One of the murderers of Frank Dorsey, cashier of City National Bank, Wichita Falls. Okay, samples of the many criminals hatched and protected by the federal government in the Fort Sill Country Indian Territory who killed law-abiding citizens. The federal government, not the people of Texas, are responsible for the murders committed. Mail this to your congressman with the request to use his influence and vote for the settlement of that country by civilized people. The placement of the corpses side by side with heads raised as if on a pillow demonstrates a peculiarity of Western lynching photographs, some of which closely resemble post-mortem photographs of the period. The sensational aspects of extra-legal violence were exploited by religious organizations, race supremacists, civil rights groups, photographs, and journalists to increase organizational growth, incite social activism, maintain racial dominance, solidify racial unity, and in this example, to manipulate public opinion and increase political voice. So the first one is of the black dude. And then the second one is of the guys that robbed the bank. Now they went and got this guy from the jail. That's what it is. Now I'm on to picture number 74. The lynching of Virgil Jones, Robert Jones, Thomas Jones, and Joseph Riley. Black onlookers, July 31st, 1908, Russellville, Logan County, Kentucky. Quote, taken from death, end quote. Lynching, I guess that's a newspaper headline. Lynching at Russellville, Logan County, Kentucky, July 31st, 1908. Hanged on the old Proctor lynching tree, the lynching tree. This is a multiple cedar tree, and these four make a total of 9 men lynched on this tree. Some were white men, some were white men. This tree is an old landmark and was an old cedar tree, even in the youngest days of the oldest settlers. Russellville is one of the pioneer towns and was settled in Cane Brake. This is an exact photograph taken at dawn, August 1st, 1908. A real photographic postcard bearing this image falsely attributes the location of and motive for the lynching. The typed inscription on the reverse reads, quote, 4 niggers hanged by a mob in the state of Georgia for assaulting a white woman, end quote. In fact, this lynching occurred in Kentucky, and the men were known for their public criticism of the white-run legal system, so they were activists. This is the most likely reason they were executed. The false information reflects the common justification for lynching in the South, that blacks were inferior and sexually uncontrollable. Such justification by Southern leaders fosters the misconception that blacks were lynched predominantly for sexual assault, but few lynching victims were actually convicted or even indicted for such crimes. Ain't that something? Like I said a couple of days ago, these guys got lynched for being activists. You got the postcard and you got the original picture. These guys were lynched for being activists. 3 brothers and another man. But they were accused, they were lied on and said they were lynched for being rapists, for sexual assault. That's to justify the wrongdoing. That's picture 74, 75, and 76. I ain't really got to read 76. It says the same thing. Well, I'll go ahead and read it. 75. The lynchings reported in northern and foreign presses were damaging to southern political and economic interests. The author of the above message documented one of the earliest efforts by local or state governments to contain the damage done to its public image by outlawing the sale and distribution of lynching images. The inscription is dated only a few months after the May 27, 1908 amendment to U.S. postal laws and regulations forbidding the mailing of, quote, matter of a character tending to incite arson, murder, or assassination, end quote. 76, the lynching of Virgil Jones, Robert Jones, Thomas Jones, and Joseph Riley. I already showed you the picture. Warning note. Black onlookers, July 31st, 1908, Russellville, Logan County, Kentucky. Dating to Reconstruction, historical proof exists of the willingness of Logan County whites to murder blacks in an effort to control labor and profits. Joseph Riley and Virgil, Robert, and Thomas Jones were discontented sharecroppers in Logan County. Activists, sharecropper activists. Rufus Browder had been a friend and large brother of the 4 sharecroppers. He and James Cunningham, the farmer for whom he worked, had an argument. Browder turned and walked away when Cunningham cursed him and struck him with a whip. Cunningham then drew his pistol and shot Browder in the chest. Browder, in self-defense, returned the fire and killed Cunningham. After having his wounds tended to, Browder was arrested and sent to Louisville for his own protection. Subsequently, the 3 Jones men and Riley were conducting a large meeting in a private home when police entered and arrested them for disturbing the peace. In fact, they were arrested for having expressed approval of Browder's actions and discontentment with their employers. Whites feared the black lodges were planning assassinations. 100 men entered the jail and demanded the prisoners. The jailer complied, and the 4 men were lynched. A note penned to one of the men read, "Let this be a warning to you niggas to let white people alone, or you will go the same way." Another example of this card, owned by James Matthews, notes, quote, "The picture was taken at sunrise, August 1st, by a young lady, end quote. Now, picture 77. Stripped African-American male stretched on a tripod rack, raised with pulley, upper body hanged, upper body bandaged, lower body wrapped with a blanket, tied with rope, fingers curled involuntarily. Let me look at picture 77. See if I can remember what this looked like. Picture 77. Said fingers curled. Yeah, I remember this picture. I had a feeling this was the one. Terrible. Terrible. There it is. Got a little bit more to go, a little bit more to go. I'm gonna do pictures 78 and 79. Corpse of black man dumped to knees, tied to trunk of pine tree by leather strap around neck. Bicycle with coat neatly folded, leans against fence posts. Covered back with two well-dressed white men in background. Pre-1915 Southern United States. The victim was shot through the eyes, ears, mouth, and torso. He was shot in the groin and his penis at very close range as he attempted to protect his genitals with his bound hands. Palmetto scrub, lack of mature trees and stumps, and the growth of Spanish moss suggests a coastal region, possibly an abandoned plantation. So let's see what this picture looked like. This savagery. Picture 78, 77. Okay, I'm skipping the picture, I thought. This savagery. Terrible. Savagery. Picture 79. Lynching of gagged black male hanging from a tree in autumn. Large crowd of onlookers, mostly boys. Location unknown. The victim's right hand is bandaged and fingers appear to have been amputated. The refracted light may be a fire or car lights. The boy's dress and the clothes of the two adult men suggest a school. So let's see what this picture looks like. Oh yeah, they cut his fingers off. They got some souvenirs. And look at the little young boy down there just posing like it's they killed a deer or something, or an elephant. Look at that. He lifeless. They want to make America great again. That's what they say. That's what they say. 79, something serious, ain't it? Tomorrow I'm going to start reading 30 minutes earlier so I have daylight so I can see these words better. Picture number 80. The lynching of John Jack Holmes, November 26, 1933, San Jose, California. This photo appeared in the morning edition of the San Jose newspaper. The city fathers were sufficiently offended by the nude male figure on the front page that they had the entire edition confiscated. So this is picture number 80. And they put it on the front page. Boy, ain't this something serious, man? What happened to censorship? What happened to censorship? See, whoever brought censorship to the table, that ideology, we need them people back in government. We need censorship very bad. We need law and order, serious law and order, man. Because this is the time that we've gone back to. They're killing us on video, and then they're killing us in the court system. Number 81. Mailing cover for souvenir images of the lynching of Jack Holmes and Thomas Thurman, November 26, 1933, San Jose, California. When the corpse of Brooke Hart, a San Jose youth, was discovered in San Francisco Bay on November 26, 1933, a mob materialized to punish the alleged kidnappers and murderers. Thomas H. Thurman and John Holmes, the lynchers, rammed open. The murderers were Thomas H. Thurman and John Holmes. The lynchers rammed open the jail door, assaulted the guards, and dragged Holmes and Thurman to St. James Park, beating them into near unconsciousness. Holmes' clothes were sheared from his body, and Thurman's pants were drawn down to his ankles. A gathering of some 6,000 spectators witnessed the hanging. Governor James Ross' doublespeak was typical of many lynching-era politicians. Quote, "While the law should have been permitted to take its course, the people by their action have given notice to the entire world that in California, kidnapping will not be tolerated." End quote. 82. Thomas Thurman, co-conspirator with Holmes in murder of young Hart, strung to a tree in St. James Park across from San Jose jail. 83. Huge battering ram used by Holmes, Thurman lynchers on San Jose jail door. And picture 84. Jail photograph of Jack Holmes, one of the slayers of young Brooke L. Hart, 22, Santa Clara University student and son of wealthy San Jose family. Holmes' photo was taken not just before lynching by 15,000 vigilantes. So these are 4 pictures right there together. California ain't innocent either. California making postcards too. Look at that. And it wasn't just black people that they lynched. But look at that vigilante justice. Listen to that word vigilante. You see how they went up in there and got them out the jail themselves? They took that picture right before they lynched them. They believed in vigilante justice. It was like straight lawlessness back then. Privilege, lawlessness like the Wild Wild West. I'm gonna get back with y'all tomorrow. Ooh, man, yeah, I'm gonna start with y'all tomorrow on picture 85. Picture 85 is a sight to see. Nothing to embrace. And I'm getting about to the end of this book. I got like, I might finish it tomorrow. And then I'll be starting on Iceman Inheritance. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to Coblow'S Daily Therapy. I want to thank those of y'all that's been supporting me. I hope nobody takes personal what I said earlier, but like I said, I've just been going through some things. Mankind has been getting to me. I'm getting weak. And I got to pull back, and I got to stop dealing with people for a while. I'm going to communicate with the long handle spoon from a distance. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you have to just quit dealing with people because I'm not perfect myself. I am flawed myself. But I am going to keep on reading and trying to do my part to help for those that do want it. Thank you for the few people that do hit me in my inbox and tell me how much I am an asset to them, how much, you know, they recognize me and appreciate what I do, and it helps them. I mean, that's really what it's not even about the recognition, but it helps. It feels good knowing that this reading or whatever I do when I'm talking is helping somebody else get through their day or open their eyes, you know what I'm saying? And so I appreciate that person that hit me up earlier because you actually, you know what I'm saying, keeping me on a straight line, keeping me straight for real. So I thank that person that hit me in my inbox, and I'm going to keep on reading because they say if you want to keep something from a black person, put it in the book. Well, I'm going to get that book and I'm going to bring that work to you, you dig? It's Coco, baby. Coblow. 2 fingers.